Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel once again. So as you know that in this particular playlist we try to find out stocks based on the insider trading report. Yeah, you guys heard me right. We try to find out stocks that we can trade in future based on the insider trading report that is publicly available on NSE's website, and we have to do this analysis on a daily basis since this insider trading report gets updated on the website on a daily basis. Now, so let's get started quickly. But before moving forward, I would like to give you a quick disclaimer that this is not a call or tip for buying any particular stock or instrument. So before investing in the stock market, do consult with your financial advisors. All right, with this disclaimer, let's get started. So as you can see right now, I'm on NSE's website homepage. I'll quickly navigate to the site where you could download the particular report. So scroll down a little bit on the NSE's homepage and you will find the corporate announcement section right here. Click on view all. Now once you have done that, scroll down a little bit, and since we are trying to find out the insider trading report, click on the insider trading tab right here. Alright, now as you can see, you can download this insider trading report for various time frames, including 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, up till 1 year. Or you can also customize it. But for our analysis, we will be considering the insider trading report for 3 months. So go ahead and click that. And once it gets refreshed, click on this download button and an Excel file would be downloaded. Now, as I said alright, so click on this download button and just go ahead and open it. All right. So as you can see, this is the insider trading report as mentioned in the name of this Excel file, and it's of 3 months from 29th of July to 29th of August. All right. So please don't get overwhelmed with the huge amount of data that is available on this Excel sheet. We do not need each and every detail to formulate our strategy. We need only some of the details or some of the numbers from this whole spreadsheet. I'll quickly show you what to filter out. So just apply the filters, and first filter would be on the category of persons, that is the E column, which is currently selected on my computer screen. Now, we want the category of persons to be promoter group or promoters only. We do not want it to be employees, immediate relative, uh, key managerial person, etc. etc. We only want it to be promoter and promoter groups. And we will delete all the rows which have an entry in the category of person except promoter and promoter groups. Alright, once you are done with that, let's remove the filter. Now, the second filter would be on the mode of acquisition, the S column that is being currently selected on my computer screen. Now, the mode of acquisition for our analysis would be market purchase only. We do not want it to be inter-se transfer, ESOP, gift, etc. etc. We only want it to be market purchase. So, I'll just deselect this market purchase and I'll delete all the rows which have an entry except market purchase in the mode of acquisition wala column. All right, once you are done with that, let's remove all the filters. All right, now as you can see, there are 10 to 15 columns in this particular Excel sheet, but for our further analysis, we would not require all these columns. We only need two columns, namely symbol column and the value of security column. So I'll go ahead and delete all the rows, all the columns except those two. All right. Let me just widen this value of security and symbol. Now, as you might notice that some of the symbols are getting repeated. Now, this could be due to the fact that there were multiple instances where the buying has been done in this particular stock from promoters or promoter groups. That's why it's coming thrice or four times in this particular column. Now we want a consolidated form of data of this particular table to make our analysis easy. So I'll just go ahead and select these two columns and I'll go to consolidate data, and I want the top row left column. I'll select all right, sorry. I should have gone to consolidated data first and then select these two columns. I want the top row left column here. Okay. So once you are done with that, it's a consolidated form of data. And now you might notice that there are unique entries in this particular symbol column. So it has consolidated all these things. All right. Now for our analysis, we want to filter the stocks. Now for filtering, I want only those stocks or the names of only those stocks which have a value of security greater than or equal to 1 crore. Now this is a quite subjective bar, 1 crore that I am setting. You could set it to 90 lakhs, 80 lakhs, 95 lakhs, whichever you feel comfortable with. But I am going to set it as 1 crore. I'll sort it from largest to smallest and I'll delete, yeah, all the entries which have a value of security less than 1 crore. Now once I'm done with that, I'll copy this whole symbol, all the symbols, and now I'll shift to the insider trading master sheet that we have been maintaining. Now, if you don't know what this insider trading master sheet is and you want to know that how to make this from scratch, you could check out my playlist trading on insider information. I have built this whole master sheet from scratch in that particular playlist. Alright, so I'll paste all the company names here. Kindly ignore the change in the color fills for now. I'll explain in a bit. Alright, so as I mentioned in the very starting of the video that this insider trading report gets updated on a daily basis. So we have to do this analysis on a daily basis to keep up with the market. Now, it's not possible for us to analyze 60 to 70 stocks on a daily basis. So that's why we maintain a master sheet so that we can know that which new stocks are being added according to our current filters. So that we can analyze only those new stocks. Okay, now as I said that we have to do this on a daily basis, but if you might notice that on my playlist, uh, I have skipped a few dates that I am not uploading video on a daily basis. That's because we have to apply some more filters before we decide that we need to do we need to trade on the stock or not? Should we trade on the stock or not? And none of the companies were coming into that filter. None of the companies were passing that filter till now. So today, three, four stocks are passing that filter. That's why I'm making the. That's why I'm uploading the video. I used to do this analysis on a daily basis, but I did not upload that because there were no stocks that was passing this particular filter. All right, so let's move ahead, and I'll select all the stocks here and this column so that I could know that which stocks are new. I'll apply conditional formatting for that. Okay. Now, all the stocks which are marked as white or not marked as red, those are the stocks which are new and those are the stocks which we will analyze today. So I'll copy them and then we will analyze all those stocks. I'll just quickly tell you what are the filters we have to apply. There are namely four filters that we would be applying, and I'll tell you about them in detail. Just give me a minute. All right. So these are the 10 to 15 stocks which we would be analyzing today. All right. Let me just delete this whole column. We do not need that, right? All right. So let me just quickly copy this first stock and I'll tell you what are the filters we need to apply. Paste the company name right here. We will be uh, okay. Grasim. Click on this Grasim Industries Limited. Click on the symbol of Grasim. All right. Now go to the corporate information by scrolling down, and here we'll find all the details that we need to see. All right, so there would be four filters which would help me determine that whether or not I want to include this particular stock on my watch list, on my swing trading watch list. So there are three primary filter and one secondary filter. In other words, I can say these three primary filters are the mandatory ones, and the one filter that is the last one is an optional one. So the three mandatory filters are shareholding pattern, You can see right here, the shareholding pattern should be greater than 50% for promoters for the particular stock to pass this filter. Second mandatory filter is the SAS regulation. In this, we will check that there should not be any selling by any institutional investor, any promoter or promoter group in the last 6 months. If there is a selling in this particular stock in the last 6 months, then we will discard the stock and move on. The third mandatory filter is promoter encumbrance detail, and in this we will check the pledging in this particular share. To pass this particular filter, the pledging in the stock should be 0%. It should not be 0.5, not 0.2, it should be 0%. If it fails to acquire that 0%, then we will discard that stock and move on. The last filter, that is an optional one, is the financial results. The latest earnings per share should be a positive number. It could be as low as 0.2 rupees or 0.1 rupees. But if as long as it's a positive number, we are good to go. Again, it's an optional criteria. Now, let me just quickly describe you what would be the color coding I will be following. If the stock, if the ticker passes all the four filters, then I'll mark that stock as green. If it passes all the three mandatory filter but fails to pass that optional filter financial results, then I'll mark it as yellow. And if it fails to pass any one of the mandatory filters, I'll mark it as red. After a while, I'll explain you what are these numbers. So let's go ahead and check out the filters for Grasem. Grasem is already opened. Okay, so let's first check the shareholding pattern. As you can see, the shareholding of promoters is less than 50%. To pass our filter, it should be greater than 50%. So I'll just quickly go and mark this particular stock as red since it failed to pass the mandatory filter. Let's check the next stock. Paste the company name here once again. And we have to repeat this particular process for all the stocks. Go to corporate information, check the shareholding. Okay, so the shareholding is greater than 50%. Let's check the SAS regulation. Okay, so as you can see on 26th of August 2021, there was a selling. Now, according to our rules, there should not be selling in the last 6 months by any institutional investor or any promoter or promoter group, but there has been a selling reported. So that's why I'll mark it as red again. Let's move on to MRF. MRF Limited, simple. Corporate information. We have to follow this process for all the stocks. Okay, shareholding is not loading. Let me just refresh it. Yeah. As you can see, the shareholding of promoters is less than 50%. So I'll discard this particular stock also. I'll mark it as red once again. Moving to Pidilite. Click on the symbol of Pidilite. Go to corporate information. Let's check the shareholding. Shareholding is greater than 50%. Let's check the SAS regulation. Again, you can check this filters in any order. The order does not matter. Okay, so there has not been selling in the last 6 months, so it's good. Promoter encumbrance, there is no pledging in this share. Okay, so it has passed all the three mandatory filters. Now it's time to check the optional filter, earnings per share, that we'll find in financial results. So the earning per share is a positive number, so it has passed all the filters that we have applied. So I'll mark the stock as green. Next one. Paste the company name. Click on the symbol. Go to corporate. Let's check the promoter encumbrance. Okay, so as you can see, the pledging in this particular share, you can find it in the third column. The pledging is greater than 0%. So according to our rules, it should be less than 0. So I'll be skipping this particular stock too. I'll mark it as red. Moving on. Click on this symbol. Go to corporate information. Let's check the promoter encumbrance. So pledging is not there. Okay, so there has been a selling on 12th of August, and according to our rules, there should not be any selling. So I'll mark this particular stock as red once again. Let's move on to Hatson. Okay, sorry. Click on the symbol name. Go to corporate. Let's check the SAS regulation for this. Okay, so there has not been any selling in the last 6 months, so it's good. Let's check the pledging. Okay, there has been a pledging that is greater than 0%. So I'll mark this stock as red once again. Moving on to the next stock. Okay, sorry. Go to corporate information. Let's check the shareholding. So shareholding is greater than 50%. Okay, one more thing I forgot to mention, that if it fails any one of the mandatory criteria, there's no need to check the other two criteria, since anyways we are going to mark it as red. So let's just save some time. Let's go to SAS regulation. No selling has been reported. Let's check the pledging. Pledging is not there. Now let's check the optional criteria, that is financial results. So earnings per share is also greater than zero. That's a positive number. So I'll mark the stock as green. Moving on to ConfiBet. Let's check the corporate information. For fun, let's check the earnings per share first. So earnings per share is a positive number. Let's check the promoter income rents. Okay, so there is a pledging which is greater than 0%. So I'll ignore the stock too. I'll mark the stock as red. Moving on to TWL. Going to corporate shareholding. Shareholding is less than 50% for promoters. I'll mark the stock as red. Okay, now one more thing. The stocks which I'm marking as green does not mean that I'm going ahead and taking the trade in this particular stock. There are variety of factors which we need to check before placing a trade. The green stocks are merely going into my swing trading watch list. That's all. Next is everyday, ever ready. Sorry. Going to corporate. Let's check the shareholding patterns for this. Okay, so the promoters hold less than 5%. It should be greater than 50 for our filter. So I'll mark this stock as red. Moving on to the next stock. Let's click on this symbol. Going to corporate information. Let's check the shareholding pattern. Shareholding looks good. Going to SAS regulation. Um, yeah, there was a selling reported on 12th of August. So I'll mark this stock as red. Excuse me. Moving on, uh, paste the company name here, Mangalam Cement. Click on the symbol. Go to corporate information. Check the shareholding. It's less than 50%. So I'll mark this stock as red once again. Let's go to Hindalco now. I'm doing this process faster because it's a repetitive process. You have to do this particular filtering for all the stocks, all the new stocks which are not already in the insider trading column. Let's check the shareholding of Hindalco. It's less than 50%. So I'll mark the stock as red. STEL. Go to corporate information. Let's check the shareholding first. Shareholding looks good. No selling in the last 6 months. No pledging of shares too. It has passed all the mandatory filters. Earnings per share is also positive. So I'll mark the stock as green. Moving on, let's check for Eris Life Sciences Limited. Go to corporate information. Let's check the promoter incumbents. No pledging. SaaS regulation. No selling has been reported. Shareholding is also good. It has passed all the mandatory filters again. Earnings per share is a positive number. So let me mark the stock as green. Moving on to the next stock. Yes, sorry. Let's check the SaaS regulation for this. There are no records. So now it's your choice that whether or not you want to go to a third party website and check whether or not any quantity has been sold. But I would not prefer that. I believe on NSE's website only. So just for the sake of knowledge, let's just check all the other filters. Pledging is not there. Shareholding is greater than 50%. Financial results is not there. So I'm skipping this particular stock. I'm just marking this as red. Moving on to AB Capital. Click on Aditya Birla Capital. Go to corporate information. Let's check the SaaS regulation. No selling has been reported. Pledging is not there. Shareholding is greater than 50. It has passed all the mandatory filter. Now it's time to check the optional filter, earnings per share. Earnings per share is not there since this particular uh, filter is an optional one. I'll mark the stock as yellow. Moving on to the next stock. Go to corporate information, check the shareholding pattern. Shareholding looks good. Moving on to SaaS regulation. There was a there's a selling reported on 24th of June 2020-21. So it failed the criteria. Let's mark the stock as red. Moving on to Crest. Go to corporate information. Let's check the shareholding first. Shareholding looks good. SaaS regulation. There has been no selling reported in the last 6 months. It's on 2019. It was 2 years back. Pledging is not there. So it has again passed all the mandatory filters. Now it's time to check earnings per share. There is no data of earnings per share. So I'll mark the stock as yellow once again. Next, moving on to the next stock. Okay, sorry. Let's check the pledging. No pledging. Um, okay, so the quantity sold was 5th of March. There should not be selling in the last 6 months, so it fails this criteria also. So I'll mark this particular stock as red. Moving on to PPL. Going to the symbol of PPL. Let's check the corporate information. Check the shareholding. Shareholding is less than 50%, as you can see, for promoters. All right. Marking the stock as red once again. PPL. Moving on to the next stock. Okay, sorry. Click on this symbol. Go to corporate information. Let's check the shareholding pattern. Less than 50%. So again, we'll skip this particular stock. Let's go to MOL. Click on the symbol of MOL, go to corporate information, shareholding, no records of shareholding. Let me just refresh. If it might occur. No, I don't think it will occur again. Um, yeah, corporate information, shareholding. Yeah, no record is there, so I'm marking the stock as red and moving on. Okay, so the last stop for checking the filters, and we'll move on to the further analysis of these green and yellow stocks, that what we need to do with those. Go to corporate, shareholding. Shareholding looks good. No selling has been reported in the last 6 months, so it's also good. Let's check the pledging. Pledging is not there. So this particular stock, the motor and general finance, has also passed all the mandatory filters. Now it's time to check the earnings per share. Earnings per share is a negative number, so we'll mark the stock as yellow since it passed all the mandatory filters. All right, now these stocks will be going into my watch list, which are green and yellow. Now the next question is, at which point of time should we even consider to buy these? Now we would be calculating the average price at which the promoters entered into this in these particular stocks, so that we could also enter into these particular stocks uh, close to the average price of the promoters. So how would we calculate that? Let me show you. The first stock is Pidilite. These are the numbers which are the average price. So okay, along with it, there are again variety of factors like liquidity and at what time did the promoter buy. Those are the factors which we need to consider before we even consider to entering into the stock. But very basic of them is the average price. It's a very basic criteria. We should know the average price at which the promoters entered. So let's check for Pidilite. Again, go to the same page and copy the company name here. Okay, once you have done that, click on this 3 months again just to be sure and download the CSV file. Now, what we have downloaded here is the insider trading report for 3 months for Pidilite itself. The earlier report, which was this one, was the insider trading report of the whole NSC. But this particular insider trading report is specifically for Pidilite for 3 months. Now, from here, we would calculate the average price. But before calculating the average price, we need to apply the same filters that we applied in the previous in the very first spreadsheet, that was this one. So the filters were, we have to remove the category of person which are other than promoter or promoter groups. So we don't have to apply the filter, we could just manually delete them. So these two we have to delete. Okay, the next filter would be on the market mode of acquisition. We want the mode of acquisition to be market purchase only. We would delete the market sale and other solid data. So we'll do that manually. Okay, once you have done with that, we have only one row. Now, how do we calculate the average price? It's pretty simple. We will divide the total value of security, in this case, that is this particular number, and we will divide this total value of security by total number of security. In this case, it is this particular number. We don't have to total it. So we'll go ahead do this. So this is the average price at which the promoters entered into this particular stock. Uh, Let me check. Yeah, all right. So this is the average price at which promoters entered into this particular stock, 2239.9. 2240 approximately. Now, apart from this particular number, there are three columns which are important: the date of allotment, the date of intimation. These numbers, oh sorry, these dates would tell us that at which date the promoters entered into this particular stock, so that we can decide that from this date what happened into this particular stock, and we can decide our positions accordingly. Now if you want to know that what is the significance of this date and how to check the volumes, how to check the liquidity, and what is the significance of those terms in this particular strategy, do consider seeing the part 4 of my playlist Trading on Insider Information. I have dedicated that particular video, the part 4, for explaining the significance of this date only, primarily. So, alright, I'll just write this number 2239.9 for this. Okay. Now we will check for the next word, next stock, and let me just close this. Okay. Next, let's check out the average price for this particular stock. Again, the same process. Click on 3 months just to be sure. Download the file. We can just close this particular file. Okay, no, not this one. We'll close this particular file. We do not need this anymore. Yeah. Download this insider trading report. And from here we will apply the filter. I don't think we need to delete any particular row. All right. Now we have to, for the average price, we have to first total the value of security. Sorry. And we will divide this particular total sum of security by total value of security. All right. Yeah, so this is the total value of security right here, and this is the total number of security. To reach at the average price, we just need to divide this total value of security by total number of security, and here we have the average price at which the promoters entered. Let me just decrease the number of zeros. So it is 86.38 rupees. So I'll write that down. Moving on to the next stock, STEL. Uh, Paste the company name here. 3 months. Download the file. Open it. Let's just close this one. We do not need this anymore. Um, all right, I think okay, let's just download this again and let's open this. Okay. Again, I don't think all the category of person is promoter and all the mode of acquisition are through market purchase. So let me just quickly sum up. And we'll divide the total value of security by total number of security, and here we have our number, 124.31 rupees. Let me just highlight it. Yeah, this is the average price, 124.31. Moving on to Eris. Click on this. Again, just refresh it for sake of security. Open this particular file. Again, this is the insider trading report for Eris only for 3 months. As you can see, the name specifies it. Okay, so we have a bunch of rows we want to delete, which are not promoters. Okay, sorry. Let's just apply the filter. It will be quick. Okay, no, I want the employees. All right. Okay, now we have only the promoter, and let's just, okay, we have to delete all these things which have we need the mode of acquisition to be market purchase only. So, okay, we have boiled this whole spreadsheet down to only 2 rows. Let's just quickly sum up the total number of security and divide the total value of security by total number of security. There is your number, and let me just highlight it, 727.01. So this is the average price, 727.01. This is the average price at which the promoters entered. Uh, Now you can do the similar thing for AB Capital, Crest, and this particular stock, the 104 Moto Genfin. So let me just quickly do this. AB Capital. Although I would prefer to trade in the stocks which are highlighted in green because they have the higher probability of win, of course. Okay, sorry, I did not need to go here. Let's download the file and open this. Okay, uh, let's just apply the filter. That would be just quick. Okay, sorry. Okay, all the mode of acquisition looks like to be more market purchase only. So let's just jump into the calculations. Okay, sorry. Divide the total value of security by total number of security, and here we have the number average price at which the promoters entered. Let me just highlight it, 116.01. I don't want it to save. Alright, moving on to Crest. Again, paste the company name here, click on this, just 3 months data, download this and open this particular Excel file. Market purchase and promoters. So we just need to divide the total value of security by total number of security, and we have the number right here, 123.61. Now, one more thing I forgot to mention is that it's quite difficult to buy at this very exact average price. So we will keep a plus minus 5% range that we can buy it at 125, 130 up to till 130, 127 like this. Or if it's on the lower side, that is 118, 115, you could buy it. So you can keep a plus minus 5 to 7% range. And buying it at a exact average price would be very good, but it's quite difficult to find. So what was the number again? 123.61. Again, these are the stocks which are going into my watch list. We have to check out variety of factors, that what was the date of allotment and what happened to the price after the date of allotment with respect to average price. We have to check the liquidity, of course, and what are the significance of those. Please check out in the fourth part of my video on the playlist, trading on insider information. I have explained there in great detail, so I do not want to repeat that once again. It would just stretch the duration of this particular video, and this video is very long in itself, so I do not want to extend it any further. Click on this, and this is the last stock for which we are going to calculate the average price for today. All right. Excuse me. All right, so category of person looks good. Promoters. Mode of acquisition is market purchase. So let's just quickly calculate the total number of security. Okay, sorry, I forgot to apply the sum method. Let's now divide the total value of security by total number of security, and here we have our number, the average price highlighted, 24.35 rupees. Let me just mark it here. All right, so we are done with today's insider trading report analysis. And if you guys have liked this, that I am not just telling you the steps, but I am actually doing the whole analysis from scratch, step by step on my screen, then please do like the video. And if you have any suggestions or if you have any doubts regarding this analysis, please feel free to mention them in the comment section below. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.